Welcome into All Things LA Real Estate. My name is PK Knoll. I'm running point on this channel. We are heading out to Los Feliz for your January real estate update. Happy New Year to everyone out there. We got some very interesting things going out in Los Feliz. I have a little bit of concerns. Obviously, an incredible neighborhood, extremely high ticket prices, especially in comparison to the neighborhoods that surround it. 2023, not the best year in real estate. Let's just be honest about the situation. We had high rates throughout the year. We saw low inventory consistently, which we're still dealing with. But thankfully, we didn't have any major collapses. Usually, an election year, things kind of ramp up, especially for the incumbent. As the year kind of progresses, so they can kind of brag about economy. So I'm optimistic about things, especially when you consider some of the verbiage we've been getting from the Fed and Jerome Powell as they've kind of ensued that we are anticipating, as long as inflation stays where it's at, that we'll get some rate cuts in the industry and start to bring things back to some normalcy. 3 rate cuts is kind of the agreed upon expectation as far as all that stuff goes. I don't anticipate that stuff to start happening until maybe mid-year, but we'll keep our eye on it and I'll keep you guys in the loop. But we're going to get into everything that's important now in Los Feliz, the current numbers, month over month, year over year. We are scrapping homes that have caught my eye just for this month. We just have not seen kind of the new inventory come out of the market, and that section will be a little bit repetitive. We'll talk about that more here in a moment. But let's go see what's happening in the neighborhood. Jumping into the current numbers out in Los Feliz, and the neighborhood's not really in a good place, all things considered at this time. It's one of the higher ticket prices completely on the east side, and the higher the ticket price, the more pain they're feeling in the real estate industry. Obviously, with rates still flirting with 7%, we did have a pretty decent drop in recent weeks when it comes to the rate side of things. We had a little bit of jump just last week. So when you get instances like that and you have higher ticket prices, it just eliminates the buyers who have the ability to finance that. And for the high-end ticket prices, it becomes basically a cash-only market in a lot of instances. And a lot of times what we're seeing is, these hedge funds and things coming in. I got a great video on that where they're talking about the federal government putting a ban on that. You can see that on my page right now. Definitely check out that video. It's only a couple minutes long, but it gives you some insight for one of the major issues in the real estate game right now. But we look at what's going on in Los Feliz. So we have 44 homes available for sale. 11 of those homes have seen price drops. So 25% of the homes on the market have seen price drops. In a normal real estate market, price drops are a huge red flag, something going wrong in the neighborhood, whatever the situation is. But in today's market, with where rates are, it is just typical because buyers were putting their homes up. They're not getting the offers that they want. And for most of these individuals, the only tool they have to move on from their home is to lower the price, and that's why we're seeing that. It's been a while since we've seen inventory jump above 50 homes in Los Feliz, so that is really what we are trying to get to, what we're trying to obtain as we move into February, March, April, May. Hopefully we can start to see that number rise a little bit and things get a little bit more consistency, especially by the end of the year as we move into 2025. Minimum price to get in the neighborhood right now, $868,000. Maximum price to get in the neighborhood, $38 million. That home is a fortress. It is insane. If you want some more information specifically on that home, we broke down all the numbers, the photos, everything you might want to know. Go back to the Los Feliz November real estate update. Go near the end of the video and look for top listing, and I'll break down that home in great detail for you, even if you just want to go see what $38 million in Los Feliz looks like. Average price right now in Los Feliz, $5.251, $775. It's been climbing for months. Now, obviously, when you have a $38 million home, that obviously affects that number greatly. But it's one of the highest average prices we see on the east side. And let's move to the median price, because sometimes these numbers can fluctuate. The average, like I just mentioned, can obviously have some outliers that directly affect that. But even our median price right now in Los Feliz is $3.497,500. And if you look at some of the outstanding neighborhoods around the Los Feliz area, that is the second highest on all these sides. So La Cañada Flint Ridge is at a 3.5, just slightly above it. I love La Cañada Flint Ridge. It's more peaceful. You're up in the mountains. Best school district on the east side, hands down. Good commercial areas, safe, great homes up there, and Los Feliz is already kind of flirting with that number. And then we go to Pasadena, one of the most desirable neighborhoods on the east side. The median price in Pasadena for homes that are available for sale is $2 million. So $1.5 million less than Los Feliz. And in my opinion, I'm moving to Pasadena over Los Feliz. The main concern that I have for Los Feliz is the trickle effect of what's happening in Hollywood. There are a few areas that are really jumping in crime and specifically in homelessness, and Hollywood is that. And Los Feliz sits right on the west side of that. And I don't anticipate that to trickle too hard into Los Feliz, but if there's any neighborhood that it's going to hit and expand out to, it's going to be Los Feliz. And that is a concern for me if I'm somebody who's looking in the neighborhood. And if it's not a position of, logistics for my job or certain aspects like that, I'm more likely to move into Pasadena to take a high ticket price. Great schools out there, better commercial area. Though it's close, both areas have great kind of areas you can go out and do restaurants and shopping and things of that. But even if you look at Silver Lake, a very desirable neighborhood, the next one down as you progress west down Sunset Boulevard, 1.6 million. So over half the median price to get into Silver Lake in comparison to Los Feliz. Now, some of that is obviously an outlier because you get into that neighborhood that sits just north of Los Feliz Boulevard by, the Griffith Observatory and the Greek Theater. That's a very expensive neighborhood that really drives up the prices. But when you look at these other opportunities in very thriving neighborhoods on the east side, there might be some better value plays to kind of progress. Days on market right now in Los Feliz is 82. That is plus 25 days than we saw all of last year. That is why you see the price drops. The golden number on that is 60 days. Because once 60 days hit, somebody who's trying to sell their home starts to lose their patience. No one wants to sit for 2 months without accepting an offer and getting that home and moving on with their lives. And we're at 82, so we're completely exceeding that. So if we don't see a lot of new inventory come onto the market, if we don't see big rate drops soon, we're going to probably consistently see that 25% price drop number, maybe even rise to 30, 35%. But we'll keep our eye on it and see if we can get some positive news in regards to that. We take a quick peek into what happened last year at this time in 2023, January. We only had 11 homes sell, 95% clip, meaning on average 5% below that list price. So it's a very slow January. It's just a matter that not a lot of people list their home in December because of the holidays. Kids are home for school. It's just a little bit tougher to go through all of the things it takes from a preparation standpoint during that time. And that obviously affects sales come January. So we'll see how things shake out from a year-over-year perspective. We'll break all that down in the February real estate update. So subscribe to the channel if you want to stay in touch with everything. But let's go take a quick peek and see how the year closed out in December in Los Feliz. It's always important, especially if you're a home buyer, to take a quick look at what happened last month in a specific neighborhood if that's where you desire to live, because what's most recent is what's most relevant. Obviously, you want to have long-term projections and track the numbers from a half year, 12-month, 18-month perspective to get a better scope of things. But what's happening now is going to give you some insight if you're somebody who's out there trying to put in offers. So not a great month of December in Los Feliz. We typically see a lot of deals getting wrapped up. So in many of the neighborhoods, like for instance, Alhambra, Monterey Park, they didn't have any year-over-year declines. And it's kind of consistent in a lot of neighborhoods. But we only had 8 homes sell in Los Feliz in December. That is about half of what we saw in November, October, September of last year. They sold at a 97% clip, meaning on average 3% below that list price. So what that tells us is that there were some disgruntled sellers that kind of settled, right? Because when you list a home, you're listing it off, the market and what it tells you your home is valued at. And if on average you're going 3% below that list price, that just means there's not multiple offers coming in. You're not getting the offer that you anticipated or wanted. So you're kind of settling for below where you initially valued your home. But when days on market push to 82, you get a lot of people who lose their patience, want to move on, or relocating, whatever the situation is, and they make that move. The minimum sale last month was $995,000, so just $500K under $1 million. So not a lot of low-end opportunities in Los Feliz. We see that right now, right? There's one home available for $868. Everything else kind of jumps up from there. We did have a sale for $5.725 million. It is nice. We do not have a lot of sales in general going for over $5 million. especially because of the new tax incentives on the Los Angeles side that have really kind of hurt that market. That was a cash offer. Probably not going to finance a $5.7 million home very often. Average sale price 3.073, 212. That's up 500K from our averages, but with only 8 homes being sold and a $5.75 million deal. That's why we get that outlier there. If we look at the median, 2.227, 330. That's going to give you a little bit more of an understanding of what the market looks like. But we take a quick peek again at some of the neighborhoods surrounding Los Feliz, or locking out of Flint Ridge, 2.495, so just below that. Pasadena in December was 1.46. Silver Lake was 1.42. So Los Feliz is outpacing a lot of other neighborhoods. Those two very desirable, very close east side neighborhoods by 800K. Huge markups to get in the neighborhood. So it really has to be something where you are, adamant that Los Feliz is where you want to live, in my opinion, just from a financial perspective, making that move. And I've obviously expressed some of the concerns I have with the neighborhood in general, as far as some of the things going on in our city. Days on market for the homes that sold was 17. That's kind of an insightful number. We'll typically see it between 15 and 35, but what that tells us is that of the 8 homes, a few of them jumped off the market very quickly. So if you are looking in Los Feliz, make sure you're working with an agent. Reach out to me, reach out to somebody, and get with an agent, because when the right home comes onto the market, they do tend to go quick. That is Los Feliz. That is anywhere on the east side. It does not cost you money to get with an agent. You will never put in an offer if it isn't the right house for you. So there are no disadvantages to getting some professional help. So please do so. We take a quick peek at how 2022 ended in December. We had 12 homes sell, 97% clips, so a 33% decline year over year in Los Feliz. I think we might see things kind of progress back, but overall in 2023, we saw consistent year over year declines, 15, 20, 35%, in certain months. And that obviously is just a reflection of, where inventory is, how high the ticket prices are in Los Feliz, and how people get pushed out as rates were consistently above 7%. So as I mentioned off the jump, we're not getting into homes that have caught my eye. We just don't have enough new inventory. The section's going to become very repetitive. It is most of my consistent followers' favorite segment as we break down the homes. I get into some of the finances, but we'll be right back to that come February, as hopefully, for the duration of the rest of this month, we start to see some new homes come onto the market. Some of the values get better, and I can find you some attractive homes. But if you are interested in what's going on specifically with the homes in Los Feliz, what's some value plays, what's the floor, ceiling, things like that, reach out to me. I'm always happy to help. Thank you so much for watching the video. We do this every single month for almost every neighborhood on the east side. We're doing Pasadena, Silver Lake, Eagle Rock, Highland Park, Glendale, La Cañada, El Sereno, Cypress Park. The list goes on and on. So like and subscribe to the channel if you are so inclined. If you're somebody who's looking to purchase a home on the east side of Los Angeles or sell your home, I am happy to help out with you. Reach out to me. You can send me a direct message online, or all of my phone numbers are listed. Even if you're somebody who's hesitant with 7% interest rates, that puts us in the same boat. It always helps to start preparing for future opportunities, because you don't want to miss the boat there. We will tread lightly. We will look for value, and we will get it done. I also do a ton of other videos. I get into the schools. I get into, the restaurants in the neighborhood. I get into the attractions in the neighborhood. I do some other fun videos like quick cribs. So once again, like and subscribe if you are so inclined. Have a great day. Be kind.
Yeah.